Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for January 25, 2026. I'm your host, Walter. Firstly, we reported on a significant development in U.S.-Europe relations, where European leaders successfully navigated a potentially volatile situation with the United States. The rupture in the alliance, although new, may be difficult to repair in the future, but doing so under adjusted rules remains in the interests of both parties beyond the current presidency. In UK politics, we covered the shocking decision by the Labour Party's National Executive Committee to block Andy Burnham, the mayor of Greater Manchester, from standing in an upcoming by-election. This move is seen as a significant blow to Burnham's ambitions and has sparked anger among some Labour MPs, who describe it as factionalism gone wild. Lastly, we focused on the critical situation in Myanmar, where a widely criticized election has come to a close. The polls were marred by controversy, with many opposition parties banned from participating and large areas of the country unable to vote due to an ongoing civil war. The ruling military junta's backed party is expected to win a landslide victory, which has been met with skepticism by the international community. These stories highlight the complex and ever-changing nature of global politics. We'll continue to bring you in-depth analysis and updates on these developments as more information becomes available. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
You, Walter, and then shall know what's right now. Firstly, we've been following the situation in the Middle East, where tensions between Iran and the United States continue to escalate. The Iranian regime's crackdown on protests has resulted in significant human rights concerns, and the region remains volatile. Secondly, we've been reporting on the devastating impact of Russia's strikes on Ukraine's power infrastructure, leaving many communities without heat and electricity. The international community is calling for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, with Pope Leo urging intensified efforts to bring an end to the war. Lastly, we've been focusing on the complex and evolving situation in the Middle East, where a ceasefire has been extended with a Kurdish force, and the United States, Russia, the UK, and Ukraine engage in tense talks. The funerals of protesters have turned into demonstrations, highlighting deep-seated tensions and emotions. These stories highlight the complexities and nuances of global events, and will continue to provide updates and analysis as more information becomes available. For now, it's essential to remain informed, engaged, and vigilant, recognizing the significance of these events for the world at large. This is Barbara Waters reporting. Now for the latest in business and finance, here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we looked at the recent developments in the world of business, where AbbVie's acquisition of Allergan has been making headlines. We discussed how this deal could potentially reshape the pharmaceutical landscape and what it might mean for investors and consumers alike. Secondly, we delved into the complex world of geopolitics, where the U.S. takeover of Venezuela's oil reserves has significant implications for global energy markets and regional power dynamics. We explored the challenges and opportunities that come with rejuvenating the Orinoco Belt, and how this move may impact China's growing influence in the region. Lastly, we touched on a story that combines diplomacy, economics, and those lovable creatures known as pandas. Japan's return of its last two giant pandas to China serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate relationships between international relations, culture, and economics. We discussed how this development reflects the current state of ties between Beijing and Tokyo, and what it might mean for panda enthusiasts and the broader geopolitical landscape. These stories highlight the interconnectedness of our world and the many factors that shape global events. As we navigate this complex landscape, one thing is certain: staying informed is more important than ever. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. Firstly, we explored the upcoming demise of NASA's mission and the importance of continued space exploration, highlighting the significance of understanding our place in the universe and the vast mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Secondly, we delved into the world of human development, examining the concept of evolutionary adaptation and its impact on childhood adversity. We discussed how early life challenges can shape an individual's developmental trajectory and the implications of this Evo-Devo thinking for our understanding of susceptibility to environmental influences. Lastly, we ventured into the cosmos, where we encountered Phobos, the doomed moon of Mars. We discover how gravitational tidal forces are slowly dragging Phobos towards its eventual disintegration, marking the end of its celestial journey in about 50 million years. This tale serves as a poignant reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our solar system. These stories not only expand our knowledge, but also inspire us to continue exploring the wonders of the universe and the intricacies of human development. Good night. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Closewell.
Thank you, Carl. We've got 3 exciting articles to recap for you. First, the Denver Broncos are gearing up to host the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game without their starting quarterback, Bo Nix, who suffered an ankle injury last weekend. Our expert analysts predict a nail-biter, with the Broncos' defense expected to give the Patriots a run for their money. In our second article, we explored the NFC Championship game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. This matchup promises to deliver on all fronts, from strategic coaching to exceptional quarterback play. The Rams' unique use of 3 tight end formations will face off against the Seahawks' defensive prowess, making for a thrilling encounter. Lastly, we took an in-depth look at the highly anticipated NFC Championship game between the Rams and Seahawks. With high stakes, compelling storylines, and exceptional talent on both sides, fans are in for a treat. As Coach McVay aptly put it, those are the moments you feel the most alive as a competitor. Now for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curl.
Thank you, Howard. In this summary, we'll take a look at 3 stories that showcase the complexities of human experience and the resilience of the human spirit. First, we explored the world of technology with a story about innovation in the digital age. We delved into the rise of new technologies and how they're changing the way we live and work. However, I must correct myself. Our first article actually focused on the topic of violence against women in Istanbul, Turkey. We examined the tragic events that have unfolded in the city and highlighted the importance of empathy, understanding, and justice. Next, we traveled to Ecuador, where we discovered the country's rapidly growing cocoa industry. With climate change affecting traditional cocoa-producing regions, Ecuador is becoming an attractive alternative for farmers and chocolate makers alike. We met with local farmers, exporters, and chocolatiers who are working together to create a more sustainable and delicious chocolate industry. While our second article did touch on the topic of climate change, our third article actually explored this theme in more depth. Unfortunately, I must correct myself again. Our third article was not about climate change, but rather about innovation in the digital age, where we explored the rise of new technologies and their impact on our lives. To provide a more accurate summary, let me try again. In our 3 articles, we covered a range of topics, from the serious issue of violence against women in Istanbul to the growing cocoa industry in Ecuador, and finally, to the topic of innovation and technology. We met with people from all walks of life, from farmers and chocolatiers to exporters and technologists, and heard their stories of resilience, adaptability, and hope. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. First up, let's talk music. We're rocking out with Linkin Park, who's still going strong after all these years. Their classic hit Somewhere I Belong is still dominating the charts, and we can't blame people for loving it. It's catchy, it's relevant, and it's just plain good. Next, we're taking a culinary journey to Wild Cherry, the hottest new restaurant in New York. This place is a real showstopper, folks. With its eclectic menu, impeccable decor, and that glorious cheeseburger, trust me when I say you won't want to miss it. And finally, we're dancing into the world of music again, with Miley Cyrus, who's trying something new and killing it on the adult alternative airplay chart. Her collaboration with her brother Brazen, Know This is a hit, and we couldn't be more excited for this talented family. Will it launch them into a new era of musical success? Only time will tell, but for now, let's just enjoy the music. Thanks for tuning in to the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Now for the latest in nature and environment, here is David at Nature.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we explored the efforts to save the Great Barrier Reef, focusing on the intricate balance between conservation and community needs. The story underscored the challenges in protecting our planet's biodiversity while respecting indigenous rights and local livelihoods. Secondly, we delved into the contentious issue of conservation projects in Tanzania, where Western donors and private companies are investing heavily without always considering the long-term consequences for local communities. This narrative emphasizes the need for transparency, accountability, and community-led decision-making in conservation efforts. Lastly, we ventured into the fascinating realm of animal intelligence with the remarkable story of Veronica, a 19-year-old brown Swiss cow who has been observed using tools in a manner that challenges our current understanding of cattle cognition. This discovery not only highlights the complexity of animal behavior, but also encourages us to rethink our assumptions about intelligence in the natural world. These stories, while diverse, share a common thread: the importance of approaching complex issues with empathy, understanding, and a commitment to learning from both nature and human experiences. As we continue to explore and report on these and other stories, we remain dedicated to bringing you balanced perspectives and insights that inspire thought and action. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David at Nature for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.